feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride away.
We'll hop over to the Tupac trial real quick. So today was like day 3 or day 2 actually of the Keefe D murder trial, and they had on the stand today a guy who we've seen on podcasts, Mob James. Now they didn't only have Mob James on; they had even on Reggie Wright Jr., which we might get to. But I wanted to show you Mob James' testimony while he's on the stand in the Keefe D murder trial, and I'm gonna be honest with you, chat. They're taking this thing like it's a joke. All of these people who are testifying, remember, they don't got to testify. They could act elusive and not really testify. The government can't put them in jail. I mean, they could hold them for contempt, but they could just duck all these subpoenas or whatever. These guys are kind of testifying because they want a little bit of clout. And what we're getting to find out is that they're showing up to court and they're doing probably the best impression of YSL Woody because they got attitudes. They're like popping their shit. They want to get their shit off more than they want to just cooperate from the government because to them, it's a state case. The government has nothing on them. So let's get into some of what was said in court.
Like that?
Not at all.
Okay. There used to be, before Apple iPhones and those types of things,
Gang members, you got gang bangers, and you got men that just guilty by association from living in that area.
Okay. And can you tell me what the difference between a gang member and a gang banger is?
A gang member hangs out. A gang banger handles his business, put in work, do what the gang do.
And what was your role with Death Row?
I was the guy that if something happened, she would have you take care of that.
Who's an enforcer? Who's the muscle?
Like Snoop Dogg trial, there was issues up there. I was sent up there to make sure those problems didn't happen again.
And are those problems, and I'm not asking you to get into specifics, but are those problems meaning issues with other people who might be gangbanging or might be trying to threaten folks? That type of thing?
Correct, yes.
And you are somebody that Suge relied on to be able to protect his roster of music artists and other things like that.
Correct.
And after you were asked to help out with Snoop, did Snoop have any other problems?
No, we didn't have one issue at court.
Now, I'm going to ask you, fast forward a little bit, to were you familiar with the Southside Compton Crips?
Yes.
Would you say they were somebody you were in alliance with or a rivalry with?
Rival.
Okay. And would sometimes those that rivalry get violent?
So he was a blood. Keefe D, who's the defendant, who's right here, was a Southside Crip. So technically, they were almost enemies, or at least they had different interests when it came to like protecting people.
When you're dealing with the gang life, it's going to be violent at any given time.
Are you familiar with somebody by the name that went by the name of Tupac Shakur?
Yes.
How are you familiar with Tupac?
He was assigned to Death Row.
And when he was signed with Death Row, would he also hang out with you guys?
He hung with my brother now. Yeah. Not me.
Who is your brother?
Alton McDonald, Buntry Ave.
Do you went by Buntry?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, during this time, is it fair to say that Mr. Shakur had an issue with rappers from the East Coast?
I think Tupac inherited the beef between Suge Knight and Buck.
Okay, that was your perspective of it.
That's all it was.
Yeah.
And we all fell. Some of us fell victim to it because we allowed ourselves to be a part of the BS, should I say. And that was a situation between record companies, not gangs. So technically it wasn't our business. But when you had 20 men just fresh out of prison and didn't have a way of getting the things they wanted, getting a paycheck from Suge, we did almost anything and everything to get that paycheck.
Now, was there another gang that was associated with Bad Boy Records, the East Coast record company that Puffy had?
The only one I know of is Southside.
And did that escalate the tension between Mob Piru and Southside?
At the time, there was no at war, it was peace. And when the two record companies got into it, Bad Boy went to Keefe D now, and Suge came to us. So that intertwined everything, and we yes, we had issues.
Do you recall any instances where that you were at where there were those issues manifested itself in terms of violence?
Are you serious? Don't ask me that right here.
Chat, as I said, they turned this into a spectacle because they're laughing on the stand, they're joking. It's not kind of how it works in federal court. Like, everybody's serious because if you're testifying, usually you have a reason to testify. You've pled guilty and you're hoping that the government's gonna reward you for testifying.
I can't say that on both sides. When each neighborhood met each other, there was a lot of tension. I'd say that.
Okay. Now I want to talk a little bit about September 7th, 1996.
Mhm.
Were you in Las Vegas on September 7th of 1996?
Yes.
Why were you in Las Vegas?
To run the security at 662, we were having issues with individuals that said that they were coming for whatever reason they was coming for, and to come to 662. My job was to not let that happen.
Similar to the kind of security you were asked to apply in the whole Snoop Dogg situation.
It didn't have nothing to do with Snoop Dogg. It was everybody came. Well, Suge and Bunch and them, his entourage, everybody went for the fight. My job and all of my people were there to make sure nothing funny happened at 662. So we were the fall guys. So if something happened, we was the one that's going to go to jail for it. Prepared to do that. So nobody else was going to come up there and disrupt it in that manner. But if anybody remember that night, it was so many Metro and everybody there. No, neither side could have did anything. So it was calm, it was peaceful.
So when you say there's so much Metro there, you're talking about so much Metro at Club 662?
It was police all over the place.
Now you said you were there to be on the lookout for something. What were you?
You said I was on the lookout for nothing.
I apologize. You were there. You were there in order to ensure there weren't any problems. Is that fair?
To make sure everything was good.
And because you had heard there might be some issues.
Correct.
And what were the issues that you were concerned about?
Individuals coming up there creating an issue we was having with different sides of from with Crips, period.
Yeah. So you were worried about Crips. Not worried. So I'm sorry. You were there providing security to ensure that Crips did not initiate any violence at Club 662.
Not just Crips, that nothing would happen.
Okay.
Period.
Okay. And then when you were there, was Reggie Wright Jr. with you that night at September 7th, 1996 at Club 662?
Yes.
What was Reggie doing there?
Reggie's job was to watch me and make sure I don't get in trouble. Everybody knew how I was. So Reggie, everybody else went to the fights. Reggie was there to watch me with the people that was there.
And I'm guessing that you were not the only person there making sure there wasn't any problems at Club 662.
I'm positive. It was 30, 40 Pirus there.
And again, that was to make sure that there wasn't any violence that occurred at Club 662.
Right.
When at some point that night, do you learn that Tupac or Suge had been shot?
That night, yes.
Can you tell me how you learned about that?
Well, people was coming back and was explaining that Tupac and Suge just got shot. Everybody was in a uproar. A lot of people started even trying to get over there on Cobalt. We couldn't leave because we didn't pay to do this here. It wasn't too long after people started coming back, like Heron came back and went to the hospital. The majority of the people was leaving and then coming back because that night they said Tupac was going to be all right. And even Suge came back with a little bandage on his head. And we thought everything was good. People kept partying.
So, and when Suge came back, you said he had a bandage on his head. But
the dude said he got shot, but he was grazed, a little scar, but nothing penetrated.
Some people would describe being shot in the head even
Well, you
slightly.
described that. I mean,
Yeah.
you're wrong.
All right. So when you find out, well, let me ask you this: was Reggie with you when you found out that Tupac and Suge were shot?
Yes.
And did it appear to you in any way that Reggie Wright Jr. was coordinating the murder of Tupac Shakur?
Impossible.
I mean, and I say this because you're aware that there have been some conspiracy theories that Reggie Wright Jr. is responsible for the murder of Tupac.
And it's so not true. His father was implicated, and his father had something to do with it. Reggie Wright used to be a police officer. And here again, I've been knowing Reggie Wright over 50 years. His daddy, as a police officer, patrolling my neighborhood. He done took me to jail many times when I messed up. If Reggie killed Tupac, then Death Row is over with. Tupac was the money source. Tupac was that guy at Death Row. So Reggie would have had a problem if he would have did that. And I truly believe Suge would have opened his mouth if Reggie betrayed him like that. So people say what they want to say.
After that night, do you stick around in Las Vegas or do you go back to Compton?
Well, I stayed in Vegas and we left that morning because we knew we was going to have neighborhood issues, and everybody left and went back to Compton.
Why were you thinking you might have neighborhood issues?
Well, you asking me some. The issues that we was having was heated, and Compton was on fire at the time, and things were happening, and
I'm trying to fast forward a little bit through this so you could get the good parts.
That would have been your response if that happened.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you and everybody else. I said
so. There was a rumor that Tupac had
listen to this.
Knocked you out one time.
I'd have killed him.
That would have been your response if that happened.
Yeah, I'm being honest with you.
They said there was a rumor that Tupac had knocked you out. He said, I would have killed him.
You and everybody else. I said it on my podcast show. Him, Suge, and my brother. I'd have shot out 3 of them if he touched me. That's how I was living.
Why is that?
That's what I was back then.
And so is it fair to say that your reputation and your standing in the neighborhood would require you to do something if you're going to get punked by somebody like Tupac?
You don't have a choice, or you can't be there.
I'm sorry. We're doing some side talking. No, that's my fault. I asked, would being in the life that you were, if somebody like Tupac is punking you, like by punching you in the face or something like that, you would have to retaliate, or you would lose your place in the neighborhood.
You would have to go back home and fight everybody that called you a punk. You would have to go. There's some rules that you roll with, and some rules you just got to handle. Certain things need to be dealt with, adjusted, living that life. And when I was living that life, it wasn't no ifs, ands, or buts. It wasn't no, oh, you get a pass. No, I would have shot him, to be honest.
So then you had mentioned, I'm not going to ask you to go into any specifics, but you had mentioned that after what happened here in Las Vegas, there were issues between the neighborhoods. How long did that last for? Was it like, all right, one day we're good, everything's done, or did it last for longer than that?
No, it was tension in the air for quite a long time, until I guess both sides, and he might agree, just said, let this shit go, because it really wasn't our beef. This was between Suge Knight and Keefe D, and people put themselves in situations like myself. I'm guilty as everybody else. Like myself, I put myself in a situation to protect something and somebody that didn't have nothing to do with me. I did it for a paycheck. I did it on some just because. I'm older now. I get it. But we did things for all the wrong reasons at that time, in them days.
Struggling, y'all.
Your Honor, we'll pass the witness.
Okay. Cross-examination, Mr. Sims.
Sir, have you ever met me?
Excuse me?
Have you ever met me before?
No.
Have you ever spoken to the district attorneys prior to your testimony here today?
Once.
And is that what you're referring to as the time that you told them, like, hey, any attorney here is better treat me as hostile because...
Yeah, I told him I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Now, a couple questions for you, sir. This is more for clarification. So, on the night of the murder, you were working as the head of security for 662.
Yes.
Explain for us a little bit about the club. Was that Suge's club or was it somebody else's club?
Sure, to my understanding.
Okay. And when you were there as head of security, were you there? Had you worked there as head of security prior to this particular night?
We did an event there once before. Yeah, same thing.
Okay. And on this particular night, was this an event like some type of fundraiser or something for police officers or anything like that? Do you recall what the event was for?
We wouldn't have been there.
Okay.
No.
What was the reason for the event?
It was Mike Tyson fight. Tyson was coming back. Tupac was supposed to perform like other people, and we was there for that.
Okay. Can you describe for us how big the club is so that we can?
30 years ago, a little bit bigger than this room.
So it's relatively, it's not like a 2-story. It's
No,
not,
it's
you know.
small.
All right. And in terms of the club itself, you were there and you were sharing with us that there were other people that were there.
Yes.
Law enforcement as well as I don't know, people from your side of town.
Oh, law enforcement was outside. The Metro would say, "Why y'all put words in my mouth?"
Sure.
They were outside. We were on the inside. Wasn't no law enforcement mingling with us.
So, as far as you know, law enforcement wasn't hired by Reggie Wright to provide additional security.
No, this was Metro posted up all over the place.
And so they were there specifically just to, like, what, harass or just send a warning or what?
No, they were there. Like when you have events in Las Vegas, everybody knows. You're going to see Metro here, every block.
Yeah.
They was posted up, which they do all the time.
But you're telling me that as head of security, you do not know or you don't believe that Reggie Wright hired the Metro officers to come
I
in?
know for a fact he didn't hire the Metro.
Okay, we'll skip
No.
that.
No, I wasn't there.
Okay. And your testimony, Pyro blood, and this is to this?
How could people back home be eyewitness to something that happened in Vegas? No, that's not what I'm saying.
The people that were here in Las Vegas, listen to my question, sir. The people that were here in Las Vegas, you're telling me were eyewitnesses to what happened and went back home. Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you, the people that was at
Just
662.
answer my question, sir. Yes or no?
I can't
Is it
answer
a
that
yes or no?
without a what you call it. You trying to tell me to say something that you're not going to understand. If you let me explain to you.
No, answer my question.
I'm not answering nothing. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. McDonald, focus for a second.
No, I am focused. Very
Focus on this.
Oh,
My
shit.
question to you is this. You didn't know what happened that night because you weren't there.
I was at 662.
Right. Do you know who that was there?
I know everybody that was there.
Okay. Like who?
Talk to your lawyer, man. This dude is tripping. I'm not going to explain that. I
He
can't.
said
I can't
talk
answer.
to your lawyer.
Okay. Let me ask you this next
Oh,
question.
he's talking to Keefe D.
You were
Oh,
telling
this is
us
ghetto.
that people back in Compton, for some reason, knew what happened here in Las
Talk to your lawyer. He tripping. I mean that mean this is some ghetto shit. You have the person on the stand addressing the defendant.
A phone conversation. People found out when people left Las Vegas the same night Tupac was shot, went straight back to Compton. It only takes 3.5 hours to get home.
Sure.
Yes, it wasn't a problem for people to find out what happened. No problem at all.
They got on their phones, they texted people, they let them know what happened here on the night of the shooting.
Yeah. They had walkie-talkies, they had all kind of phones. They had ways to call people to say whatever. But when people left Las Vegas that same night, after they found out and got in their cars and went home because it was a situation, Pac was shot. Retaliation is a mug. Come on, man. You got like it was for real, for real. All of this was for real.
Now, the night of the shooting, did you have a walkie-talkie, a Nextel thing or something like that?
No.
Did Reggie Wright?
I don't know what he had. I don't know how much money he had in his pocket. I don't know what he had on his hip.
But you were the head of securities, but you're telling us you did not have any type
Reggie
of
Wright,
device.
right way security has nothing to do with the gangbanging security, Parus, whatever you want to call it. They had nothing to do with us.
Okay.
The phones that Suge had for certain individuals, they had the phones. Like the guy that was bodyguard for Tupac that night. Like some of the guys that was at the Tyson fight, like Suge Knight. Certain individuals had phones. Yes, they did.
Okay, so, all right, I get what you're saying. You're not there, but you're saying other people were.
Yes, I'm saying there was a lot of people there.
A lot of people were there at the shooting that took place.
That was in the entourage, yes.
Let's see. Okay,
All
just
right.
one
So that's Mob James. Here's Reggie Wright.
If anybody's smelling something,
We were familiar.
And what gang was that?
Compton Southside Crips.
Now, the Southside Crips, that was the same gang that you told us earlier that Mr. Davis belonged to. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And by Mr. Davis, I mean Keefe D.
That's what I believe he is. Yes.
Yeah. And then, was there ever a time where Death Row and you and whatever other unofficial security Death Row had a clash with Bad Boy and the Southside Compton Crips at all?
Yes. We had it at a Soul Train Music Awards. I previously stated that Mr. Davis was with him, and I even think I might have even said that he was one of the ones close to the guy with the gun. Never said he was the one with the gun, but there's been out there, social media, where a gentleman has came out and admitted that he was the one that actually had the gun that particular incident by the name of C. Gutter.
So do you remember? Well, I'm going to ask you what your independent recollection is. Tell us about that incident. So we're at the Soul Train. What is it? The Soul Train Music
Soul
Awards.
Train Music Awards. Yes.
And approximately what timeline are we looking at?
April, May of '95.
Of '95?
Sorry, '96.
Okay, of '96.
I'm sorry.
And you had mentioned before the song "Hit 'Em Up." Was this before or after the song "Hit 'Em Up"?
That was before him.
Okay, that was before "Hit 'Em Up." Okay, tell us what happened at the Soul Train Music Awards.
We pulled in. Originally, we had an entourage of about 50 people with us, but they only allowed two cars of us to get back in the back parking lot because that's where they had all the setup and the motorhomes and stuff like that. So we drove in the back. Mr. Knight, Mr. Shakur, and a few of the outlaws was inside of a Hummer, and myself and Frank, which was Tupac's security that night. Mr. Shakur's security that night. We drove in behind them. As we was getting out of the vehicle or getting ready to park, Mr. Shakur saw Christopher Wallace and Puffy and a group of people, a few guys that I recognized on the south side, in that entourage. As they were, Mr. Shakur immediately became enraged and started yelling and confrontation between Mr. Small, Biggie, and Mr. Shakur took place to the point where one of their guys brandished a weapon. And then that's when I pulled my firearm towards him. And
Club transferred to show its name was "Keep It Clean and Don't Carry a Firearm."
that's correct.
Did you do anything else that night, Friday at all relevant to the events that occurred on September 7th, 1996?
The club actually opened on Fridays and Saturdays. But for some reason, we didn't get a big attendance on Friday nights. But Saturday night, it was a different night.
So you knew that that night, September 7th, 1996, was the night that Mike Tyson was fighting Bruce Sutter. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And was that part of the reason why you guys were going to have the club open because of that fight?
That was the only time the club, under Mr. Knight, the Club 662 banner, we only did that about 3 times. And that would have been the 4th time. And so we only opened those 4 times, the Friday and the Saturday. And then we did it one more time where Mr. Shakur and Snoop Dogg did a St. Ives commercial, which was just a promotional private video shoot for a commercial.
Now, who was in charge of the security for Club 662 that night?
Well, ultimately I am, but I had a on-site supervisor by the name of Al Giddens. He was actually who I consider in charge of the club, but ultimately as the owner, I was.
And then we heard from James McDonald. He's suggested that he had a role in security as well, maybe different than your role in security. Were you aware of James McDonald being there at the club?
Yeah, James was a headache for my security. They hated him. But he and I, we've been knowing each other over 52 years, So, that was like my brother. So he, James used to do it as a hustle. What James would do is go outside, get guys that look like they had a bunch of money, and bring them to the front of the line. And that drove my security crazy. But James was just out there working the door. Still gonna have a bunch of his homeboys to come and be on the lookout,
As the person in charge, or the person contracted to be in charge of that.
Judgment, mainly because of the qualifications or the lack of qualifications of the security officer that was acting as security officer that shot him and killed the person. And so when you have a big company like Mr. Knight had,
thought it was best, and he thought it was best, or maybe his attorneys, I don't know, his label, that let's get some professional people around you.
And so, for the most part, your practice was to hire people that were either off-duty police officers or retired police officers.
That's correct, sir.
And you did that because they were properly trained and you could trust them in terms of their judgment.
That and my cell was,
All right.
and James was that person that she looked to, even during the Snoop trial, when Snoop was having problems with his homeboys coming up there, messing with him and stuff. They were hired to be outside the courthouse to keep them away, and that was James' role. So, and James was with Suge at the beginning, and quite frankly, he might be a little upset that my guys kind of took a lot of their roles or their responsibilities.
Right. So on this particular night, there's actually Metropolitan police officers that were they hired by you to be on the outside?
But I would say Club 662 or under Mr. Khaleesi and the person that was running the club under their direction. I knew they were going to be there, but I didn't speak to anyone from the police department to say, this is how much y'all going to be getting paid. I need you to do this. I just knew they were going to be working from the door out.
So, yeah, okay.
Yes.
And really the concern at this particular point that you had, as well as I'm assuming Mr. Khaleesi as the attorney, is you wanted to make sure everything was going to go well for the club.
That's correct. That's fair.
In essence, and to help Shook with passing up this particular club. Right?
That's correct, sir.
So one of the things that had happened that you had shared with us is that Friday you meet with Khaleesi and you learn and you're instructed that your people are not to be carrying firearms.
Inside the nightclub.
Right, inside of the nightclub.
That's correct, sir.
All the way up until the time that they get to that door, they're not supposed to be carrying firearms.
Inside the club.
Are you aware that the Red Alert people from Mob James were all carrying firearms that night?
Well,
hey, chat, y'all rock with me still? I know I'm playing some audio. We're about to skip through this, but please don't tell me y'all fell asleep on me yet. Big Ack is still in the building.
as I did. And so they will search them. And if they got one in, who knows? But there was always issues with them about being searched.
Matter of
My
fact,
guys
chat,
were
let's take a
still-
shot. Let's take a shot. Let's take a shot. Real quick. Shot break. Everybody, shot break. Shot break. We got a little Casamiga Reposado right here, man. Okay. All right, here we go. Still locked in. Okay. Is this the last thing we have to play for this? This Keefe D trial is kind of interesting. Actually, I think I want to do the autopsy. Tupac autopsy. So they're going to describe Tupac autopsy today. Shout out to what's the guy's name that we just played? We wanted to hear about the autopsy today. And they were describing how, listen to this. I think this is maybe a medical examiner or assistant of the medical examiner or
Was it just
ISA
recording artist?
GAVIN.
Was it just the record
Dr.
club?
Gavin.
It
You
was
should definitely
everything that
get
Mr. Knight
Dr. Howard
was trying to investigate at the time.
I'm a forensic
You're
pathologist,
telling us
medical
that not only
examiner
were you
here in
providing
Clark
security,
County.
but you're also like an
What does that
employee
mean?
of,
You do for a living?
I was
We determined
Were you
the
drawing like
the cause of
like a
death and the
paycheck
manner
every
of
2
death
weeks
and
as an
sudden
employee?
unexpected
was, sir.
deaths.
It wasn't
In order to hold the position that you do with the coroner's office,
we didn't do that. We didn't do that.
And
you have
with regards
certain
to
education, training, and
Mob James
background.
hey, you're telling me
Yes.
that you would have been paid the same way with
Ladies and gentlemen, the jury.
I went to medical school at the University of Connecticut School of Medicine. I did a pathology residency at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut. I did a surgical pathology fellowship at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut. I did a forensic pathology fellowship in the Office of the Medical Investigator in New Mexico, and then I came here to Clark County. I have a medical license to practice here in the state of Nevada, and I'm board certified in anatomic pathology and forensic pathology.
How long overall have you been a forensic pathologist?
This September, it'll be about 17 years practicing here.
So I'm going to guess that 30 years ago you were not at the autopsy of Tupac Shakur.
No, I was in medical school.
Have you in the past had to come in and testify to your opinions as to cause and manner of death in cases where you weren't the actual examiner at the table?
Yes.
Explain why that would happen.
We have people that have retired. We have doctors that have died. We have doctors that have gone to other locations in the country.
So when you are asked to review, what is it that you get to review in order to form your opinions and conclusions?
Sorry. They don't have the original medical examiner. They're going with someone who's not an original medical examiner, but they come from that office, and they're basically trying to say, hey, even though she's not the original person who analyzed Tupac's corpse at the time, they still do have enough information to proceed in this trial to be an expert.
Conclusions.
Most often, it would be the investigation report from our office. It would be the autopsy report from the forensic pathologist that did the case. It could be photographs associated with the case. Could be medical records associated with the case. Could be any consultations or the like associated with the case.
In this particular case, do you know who the examiner was?
Yes.
Who was it?
It was Dr. Jordan.
And Dr. Jordan is no longer with us, correct?
Correct. Dr. Jordan has passed away.
Okay, so basically the medical examiner says he passed away.
In addition to what the medical examiner's office had, did you also get a copy of the photographs taken by crime scene analysts during the course of the autopsy?
Yes.
And did you utilize those as well to render your opinions?
Yes.
I'm going to start with what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit number 44. Now, as long as you don't click that mouse, there should be a nice little arrow that comes up and you can point to it. What are we looking at in State's Exhibit 44?
In the background is a green body bag, and the way that we sealed the body bag to preserve the body as evidence is we put this little blue tag through the eyelets of the zippers as they come together to demonstrate that the body was received, placed into that sealed body bag, and then received in the office with that seal intact at that time. Similarly, we also attached onto that area what will become the toe tag, the identifying marker for that particular body, that particular individual.
And if I zoom in on that, we're able to see that the name was Lassane Crooks, aka Tupac Shakur, date of death 9/13/96 at approximately 1600 or 4 p.m.
That's correct.
Oh shit, I didn't know this. Tupac Amaru Shakur, his actual birth name was Parrish Lassane Crooks. I didn't know that. Did y'all know that, chat? That's an interesting thing to know. Tupac Shakur, when you look him up on Wikipedia, because I was just like, what the fuck? Tupac Shakur, he was actually born as Parrish Lassane Crooks. Wow. I didn't know that. I did not know that. I never knew that, chat. I never knew. Did y'all know that? Let's not cap it up now. Oh, sorry. It's like some people, like, I don't know if y'all know, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's his official and birth name was actually Fernandin Louis Alcindor. So a lot of people call him Lou Alcindor. They did not call him by this name. Did y'all know that? So Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, his alternate name is Lou Alcindor. And like, I did not know this about Tupac. Watch, they're gonna clip this. Like, oh, I don't know nothing about hip hop. Fuck y'all niggas. I did not know that Tupac's birth name was actually He had the birth name of Parrish Lassane Crooks. Parrish Lassane Crooks. It was a surname that was after his mother's then girlfriend, Carol Crooks. Oh, Tupac's mom was a lesbian, I forgot. But was later rechristened by his mom, and in honor of Tupac Amaru II, a descendant of the last Inca ruler. Oh shit! So Tupac got named after what? I never knew the etymology of Tupac's name. Wow, interesting. Did y'all knew this? Did y'all know this? Watch, everybody in chat. Oh, of course we all knew this, chat. Did y'all know this? So y'all all knew this. Okay, all right, thank you. I'm glad y'all being honest. Y'all did not know this. So Tupac, we never knew this whole thing about his name. This is not even a name that, like, you know, people frequently refer to, but his real name was what is it? His real name was let's go back to it. No, that's not it. That's not it. We could just go to this. His real name was Tupac's real name was, hold on. Tupac Paris Lassane Crooks? That's crazy. Okay. All right. Now we know.
Shakur, date of death 9/13/96 at approximately 1600 or 4 p.m.
That's correct.
Chat, don't worry. Chat, Shorty got me right. She got me a little shot, but she got me some pasta. It's from Olive Garden. If y'all you did not make it. Stop the cap. If y'all shame Olive Garden, shame on y'all. Okay, let's take a shot. Chat, trust me, I'm too drunk already. The stream will be done, but this pasta is about to keep me going. You feel what I'm saying? Trust me, I'm still fat at heart. I eat a little bit of pasta. I'm drunk. I'm sober again. Let's get to it. Oh, this lasagna, by the way.
45.
W.
What are we looking at, Doctor?
This is just opening up of the body bag, and then one of the first photos that was taken at the time that the body bag was opened, demonstrating the decedent and the condition that he was.
Now, I want to add to this. I don't know if you know, Tupac, after he got shot, was alive for several days after. He was in debilitating condition. They had to remove several organs, several vital things that maybe he would need if he had survived. But they were trying to keep him alive as long as possible. And ultimately, I believe his mom made the call to terminate the life support, but they did have to. I think there was a collapsed lung. I think there was a lot of things they had to do, which people would, you know, it's kind of like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but Nipsey Hussle. The way how Nipsey Hussle was shot and murdered, if Nipsey Hussle was kept alive, he would not be the Nipsey Hussle you know. Okay? They were talking about severe organs were compromised, and exactly, you know? So they're talking about Tupac autopsy, which means now he's dead. But some of the damage, of course, there's going to be damage from the bullets, but there's damage from the hospital who's saying, hey, we might have to take out this lung just to keep you alive because there's damage to it.
Received in the body bag.
And from reviewing the medical records that were part of the coroner's office file, did it appear that Mr. Shakur had survived his wounds for some period of time?
Yes.
And okay. A lot of what we see on these photographs are evidence of medical intervention.
That's correct.
So they're describing exactly what we said, chat. They're not going to show us the videos or the photos, but
This is a
online you can find
facial
those
shot.
photos we want.
I know there's a ruler in the way, but this is a facial shot of Mr. Shakur.
Oh, that's correct.
And then we're not going to display all of his tattoos, but there were photographs taken. This is 47 to identify his various tattoos.
Correct.
So you can see on his right stomach there that says Thug. And then if we go to 48,
Thug Life.
On the other side, it says
Life.
Life. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. So now I want to get to his injuries. And I'm going to start with, I'll start with 49.
So we're hearing about the injuries now, chat.
What are we looking at here?
This is the right side of the body up by the chest area. You can see the...
Keep in mind, Tupac is in a car on the left. They pull up at the light on the right. They dump bullets. But remember, in America, when you're driving a car, you're on the left side. Okay? So, we have Suge Knight on the left side and Tupac in the passenger side, which is the right side of that car. A car pulls up on the right side of the car. If they're trying to fire bullets, even if it's going to hit Suge, I know Suge is fat, or at least at the time he's fat or big. Pac is in the direct trajectory of most of those bullets. So that's why they're discussing like that.
Right axilla or armpit in that region. And then you could see some of the sutures of what they call a thoracotomy incision, where they've cut into the side of the chest. And then just below that, this is an entrance gunshot wound.
And then just below that thoracotomy chest, there appears to be a stitched up area. I can move my mouse too, right there. What is that?
That's a sutured chest tube site.
So he had a tube there to help drain some of what was going on in his body.
Correct. And in the previous one that had all the medical intervention, you could see from the left side there was a similar chest tube on that left side.
From your review, were you able to determine?
Now, I don't think this is ever known or never really pronounced in the medical situation for Pac. So allegedly, Pac was either on life support for a week or 2 weeks after. Probably chat GPT that and figure out. Oh my God, my fucking lasagna about to fall. How long was Tupac on life support? Okay, he was on life support for 6 days. So following the shooting, okay, he was shot this day, and they didn't certify him passing away until the 13th. Apparently, until then, and I've watched all the interviews. Shout out to Vlad. He's done a great job of detailing it. Man, they did a lot. They took out organs. They did X, Y, and Z. They did a lot trying to keep him alive, but ultimately it didn't work.
And sort of the path of this particular bullet.
Yes.
And what was that?
It entered here in the right lateral aspect of the chest, just below the axilla, the armpit, and then went across the right chest space, went across the right lung, and then ended up coming to rest in what we call the sternal notch. The sternal notch is a location just between where your collarbones kind of meet up towards the center of your chest. So just beneath that, the projectile was recovered.
The nature of that type of wound, what did it physically do to him, his ability to breathe and those types of things?
So the injury to the lung would have collapsed the lung and also caused the lung to bleed. And so it was documented within the medical records that he had about 2 liters of blood in his chest cavity when they put in the chest tube to try to save him. And similarly, they ended up removing that lung to try to save him and kind of clamp off the bleeding. And then it already had already had multiple episodes
So they had removed his lung, trying to save him.
of not becoming responsive, so he wasn't able to breathe. He was bleeding out in that area from that injury.
Additionally, I guess I should have asked this when I was back on some of the prior pictures. We're going to see a lot of pictures, or we have seen some pictures of Mr. Shakur while he's alive. We're going to see some video of him alive. He certainly looks a lot skinnier in those pictures than he does in these pictures. Is there a reason why he's so bloated in these photographs?
After they've been on the life support system, you end up not being able to circulate the fluid in the body that they're trying to give you, and so it kind of seeps into the tissues, and it makes your tissues look kind of bloated and kind of.
Now, there are many photos of Tupac on a autopsy table. I don't recommend you go look it up. I've seen it. It's not pretty. But what she's describing is why Tupac's body looked like what it is. Very different subject, but I think eventually people are going to get to that point with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is like white people Tupac. Honestly, I know it sounds crazy. White people Tupac is Charlie Kirk. Why do I say that? There was a time that people were in denial that Tupac got killed because he jumped a nigga in the lobby of, was it MGM Grand? And that nigga was a Crip. And that nigga was not playing around. And he slid immediately. Him and his family took a car, stalked Tupac down, and killed him. Because in their mind, Tupac was a rapper, and rappers are pussy. They were gang members. And they were not going to have Tupac getting some up on some, oh, we beat this nigga up. We're X, Y, and Z. Okay? But now we're finding out all the details about Tupac's murder, autopsy this and third. And this is why I say to y'all, it's like Charlie Kirk, because white people are in denial that Tyler Robinson nigga spliffed him. That nigga hit him with a Call of Duty trick shot from a roof 1,500 yards away. It is what it is. So that's all I'm kind of saying. Anyway.
Literally bloated.
I'm going to move on to his next wound, State's Exhibit number 51. What are we looking at here?
This is the right lateral aspect of his body, so his right flank and his lateral aspect of his right thigh.
And
then his back side of his right hand is also within this picture.
The ruler, though, is identifying what?
The ruler is around the right lateral aspect of his thigh, so the right thigh on the lateral side.
And what is that?
And that's an entrance gunshot wound.
And can you tell me the path that bullet took?
Yes.
And go ahead.
That bullet entered in the lateral aspect of the right thigh and then went upwards into the abdomen and damaged his intestines. They ended up operating there and removed a portion of his intestines. And then during that surgery...
So they've removed the lung, intestines. They had him on life support.
They recovered another projectile.
State's Exhibit number 52, and you can see it in 51, but now the ruler is on. Oops, try that again. Now the ruler is on that lower mark. Describe that for us.
This is like the lateral aspect of his body, or his right flank. And this wound does not penetrate into the body, but it kind of causes this deeper abrasion in this area. So this could be from like a spent projectile that might have hit something else and then hit his body, so it lost its momentum to be able to penetrate into his body further. So it kind of hit this area and created this wound on the side of his body.
Were there evidence within the medical records that Mr. Shakur had received bullet wounds sometime prior to the injuries that caused his death?
He had some scars in other areas of his body that were suggestive of that.
State's Exhibit number 53. What are we looking at?
This is the back of his right hand, and on the ring finger, he has an entrance gunshot wound. This path goes through the hand and goes through that finger and then fractures that bone right by the ring finger area.
And then 54054. What are we looking at?
This is the exit aspect of that wound that we saw the entrance to on the back of the hand, and it kind of exits out the underside and partly in the webbing between those fingers.
Now, you mentioned that during the surgery, UMC would have recovered one bullet, and then autopsy, another bullet was recovered.
That's correct.
And so, as it relates to the autopsy, showing you State's Exhibit number 55. What are we looking at here?
This is the projectile that was recovered during the autopsy. This was the one underneath the sternal notch to which I referred earlier.
And just so the jury understands these when they get to the back room, that's the same bullet, it's just taken from the opposite side.
Yes, we take multiple angles of those projectiles. Photos of multiple angles.
Your Honor, just for the record, what exhibit number is this one?
Mr. Gustavo?
56.
Okay.
Now, Doctor, in addition to not only the photographs, were there other records identifying Mr. Shakur within the coroner's office records?
We have both some medical records and some photographs, as well as the autopsy report, the investigation report, and the toxicology report as well.
Did you also have an affidavit from Mr. Shakur's mother indicating that's her son and he's dead?
Yes.
And were there also postmortem fingerprints taken to confirm that information?
Yes.
After reviewing all of those records, do you have an opinion as to the cause of death of Mr. Shakur?
Yes.
And what is that?
He died of gunshot wounds of chest and abdomen.
And do you have an opinion as to the manner of death?
Yes.
And what is that?
Homicide.
When a medical examiner uses the term homicide, what does that mean?
The simplest form is death at the hands of another.
Thank you. I pass the witness.
Yeah, just being honest with you,
You do solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give in this section shall be the truth, the whole truth.
if you're anything like me, I've previously stated, and I still agree with, Tupac is, for me, one of the greatest hip hop artists of all time. I struggle with figuring out who's a greater hip hop artist between him and Kanye. To me, Tupac is hip hop. Obviously, his death happened before maybe some of y'all were even around or cared about hip hop. It always still hurts. It always still matters. And even kind of like listen to this is like, damn. This Keefe D trial, this is the only time we'll have a chance to have justice for Pac's murder. Keefe D claims he was trolling. He's done a lot of retelling or whatever the case is. So we'll see what happens. But yeah. Rest in peace to Pac, man.
And nothing but the truth.
These views that we're going to watch, it's going to be pretty hard to facially identify anybody. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So I want to start with,
Or the 2046-30.
And by the way, everything does come back to this idea that Pac signed his own death certificate by jumping in a situation and trying to jump a Crip that will make that Crip feel like he was so embarrassed that because of the embarrassment, Tupac had to die. Why? Tupac was a rapper. I know we look at rappers like they're tough guys, but street dudes look at rappers like they're pussies, for the most part.
33.
This is the Las Vegas incident. They're going to turn it to Tupac and friends, you know, making a beeline towards where Orlando Anderson was at. And you could tell this is Pac. This is, I think you can see people behind them. Pac is pretty much leading the whole time. He's upset. I think the full story goes that the issues between fuck it, man, just watch. See everybody kind of following.
they appear to be exiting. Can you generally tell me where that leads out to?
The lion entrance? Right.
Is that anywhere near the ballet?
That's the. I'm sorry, I was confused. Out to the hotel registration area, and then out to the Porte Cochere.
And do you know whether or not back in '96 there was a ballet there or not?
Yeah. No, I don't know if there was an exact ballet or what it was called at the time.
Thank you, sir. Judge, I pass the witness.
Mr. Sim, cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, you are an investigator with the MGM, correct?
MGM Resorts, the whole company.
So it would be MGM as well as the other properties that are on the ship?
Correct.
Okay. And I'm assuming you're more than just yourself doing the investigations.
Correct.
Okay. May I have that document? May I approach on?
Yeah.
I'm going to publish this again for the jury. State's Exhibit number 44. All right. A couple questions. As the investigator or a investigator, how long have you been doing that line of work for?
14 years.
Did you have any previous law enforcement experience before you became an investigator for MGM?
No.
And then with regards to your training as an investigator for the MGM, are you trained in how to do an investigation?
Yes.
Okay. And that would be something that would be not necessarily law enforcement, but it would just be to protect the properties that MGM owns.
Yes.
Okay. So with regards to the training that you have, is one of the things that you do in terms of training, learning how to write proper reports?
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us why that's important?
Documentation for future reference. You are. My experience, yes, that's.
The elevator area, recall that?
Yes.
Now, do you know if there was ever a request to follow that in?
Now, I know y'all know the story. There's a guy named Trayvon Lane. If you're wondering why Tupac got killed. So a guy named Trayvon Lane. He supposedly got his chain snatched at the mall. He got his chain snatched. He apparently told the homies. Tupac, he's thinking he's gang. When he hears that, he's like, who took your shit? I bet it's these, it's these Southside Crips. They go to the boxing match. It's a Tyson boxing match. Now, what happens is like, oh shit. Yo, one of these niggas is here? One of the niggas that was down with taking your chain? Yo, bet, let's pull up on him. We got 1 million people. Like, yo, I'm Tupac. Like, yo, I'm the guy. You see the video when Tupac's moving, 1 million people are moving. Right? Like, they literally show it. When Tupac moves, 1 million people are like, walking towards whatever they're moving. So Tupac is like, fuck it, I'm about to go whip this nigga's ass. That's not what happens. And because of that, even though Tupac stomps out someone, the gang members get mad to say, yo, Tupac ain't even like that. How is he stomping out us? We gotta make an example out of him. This is about the chain being taken before listen.
Talk about my nephew. I want to talk about me.
Okay.
What happened with me.
All right, but I just want to establish Orlando is your nephew and you guys were very close.
Yes.
Okay. And from what I understand, Orlando was a thorough guy. He had a reputation for this, for being with the shit.
No, he was a good person. Very good person, good heart, everything. He was really a kid when that shit happened, homie.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Shortly before the Vegas incident, Trayvon Lane gets jumped at the Lakewood Mall.
He really initiated that whole thing.
Really?
It was him and 2 other guys. I think his name was Kevin Woods and some other dude.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the other dude's mom is from our neighborhood. Her name is what's her name? Her last name Stamps. I don't know, Vanessa Stamps. Her son was up there with him. I don't know why he turned. So when the homies came in there, they see my little homie see him. So he tried to sock Trayvon and sock him in and snatch the change. Knocked him into the shoe rack.
But they didn't.
So Trayvon Lane getting his chain snatched. Okay. By the he gets his chain snatched. He was Ahmaud Pyru. Orlando Anderson is one of the people who snatches a chain. Tupac feels like he's gang enough that he's like, yo, ain't that the nigga who fucked with our guy? Let's go handle him.
Actually get the chain, did they?
Yeah, they got the chain.
They got the chain.
Yeah.
Okay, because this story differs when you depending on who you talk to.
That shit was like $300-$400 change. It wasn't no. They said they had a bounty on it, nothing like that.
Okay, because that was another story that allegedly there was a $10,000 bounty on death row chains, and I've talked to people in death row, like artists and so forth, and that was the word that was circulating at death row, that there was $10,000 bounties on these chains.
Word was on the streets that Puffy and Bad Boy was doing a video, and they was paying anyone to bring back a death row chain. So Pac looked at it like, this is deeper than Bloods and Crip. This is my enemies. You know, Puffy and them attacking us now because I'm with death row. So words on the street that if you bring back this death row chain so we can put in our video, this was the words on the street.
Oh.
So that's how it got back to
The
Pac.
rumor was that Puffy wanted to have the death row chain in a
this was
music
the rumor.
video.
This was the rumor. So when they tried to snatch that chain from Trey, and Trey fought them all back, and he got the chain back. It was 3, I think, against somebody got the chain. Whatever, I really don't know that story, whatever happened, but he ended up keeping his own chain.
For a $400 change, it don't add up.
Well, there's a significance to it.
It don't.
You know,
add
the story.
up,
The story was that Puffy wanted one of these chains and put them in a
No, that
music
shit
video.
don't add up, dude. That little bitty cheap ass change, that shit wasn't nothing but $300-$400. Puff don't want one of them changes. What he gonna do with that change?
Okay. Okay.
On answering our questions, well,
All right.